1 a.m. Right now, the crew aboard the Russian Project 22,160 patrol ship, Sergey Kotov, believes the battle is already over. They have just finished repelling a small wave of Ukrainian drones near the Kerch Strait. The commander, confident that the threat is neutralized, orders the engines to slow to a lazy 12 knots to save fuel. It is a fatal lapse in judgment. Less than 3 miles away, the true nightmare is already in the water. This is a wolfpack of Magura V5 uncrewed surface vessels, and they are hunting in a coordinated pack. These 18-foot black speedboats are virtually invisible to the naked eye. Tonight, they are carrying a combined payload of 900 kilograms of high explosives. That is roughly the equivalent of parking a compact car made of pure TNT right next to the ship's hull. It is enough raw energy to snap the Sergey Kotov's keel like a twig. In a secure bunker hundreds of miles away, a Ukrainian operator from Group 13 watches the Russian ship drift lazily via a Starlink feed. He sees the target glowing on his screen, exposed and vulnerable. The Russians are opening the champagne early, unaware that a 900-kilogram eviction notice is barreling toward them at 42 knots. The operator pushes the throttles forward. "Party time," he whispers. The countdown to impact is 28 minutes, 1:05 a.m. The operation begins with a masterclass in infiltration. The Magura V5 swarm didn't just drift over from Odessa. That would be too exposed. Instead, Ukraine exploits the heavy commercial traffic of the grain corridor near the Kerch Strait. Amidst the radar clutter of dozens of grain barges and cargo ships, a nondescript civilian vessel silently lowers a ramp into the black water. The drones hit the waves and immediately execute a tactical split. The bait team, 4 standard Maguras, punches the throttle to a blistering 78 knots. They are designed to be loud, fast, and aggressive. They cut jagged wakes across the surface, deliberately creating a radar signature that screams, "Here I am," to the Russian Ka-27 helicopter patrolling above. Their job is simple: draw fire and die. Meanwhile, the kill team, the pair carrying the massive 900-kilogram payload, adopts a completely different profile. They throttle back, hugging the troughs of the waves to mask their silhouette. Crucially, they engage an encrypted mesh radio network. This allows the drones to talk to each other directly, bypassing Russian jamming. Even if the operator loses contact with one, the AI on the others will guide the pack to the target. While the Russians swivel their guns toward the sprinting decoys, the heavy hitters vanish into the noise of the sea. They creep toward the Sergey Kotov like shadows in a graveyard. 1:10 a.m. The Russian defenses react with terrifying efficiency, doing exactly what Ukraine hoped they would do. The Ka-27 helicopter pilot, scanning the water with thermal optics, spots the heat signatures of the high-speed decoys. He dives, unleashing a volley of unguided rockets that churn the sea into a white froth. Simultaneously, the Sergey Kotov's main 76mm AK-176MA automatic cannon spins up its radar-guided fire. It is a massacre. The lead decoy drone disappears in a violent geyser of water and plastic as a heavy shell connects. Moments later, the helicopter machine gunners shred a second drone. To the Russians, this looks like total victory. The threat indicators on the bridge drop to 0. The commander of the Sergey Kotov watches the fires burn out on the water and laughs. He turns to his executive officer and says, "They keep sending these suicide toys, and we keep turning them into driftwood." He believes he has just crushed the main Ukrainian assault. Confident that the sector is clear, he orders the gun crews to stand down and the helicopter to return to the deck for refueling. The adrenaline fades, replaced by the dangerous comfort of a job well done. They have successfully won the battle, completely unaware that they just lost the war. 1:20 a.m. This is the moment where physics meets psychology. The Sergey Kotov is now drifting at a low idle, its massive 76mm cannon pointing uselessly at the horizon. The crew has relaxed into that dangerous post-combat lethargy. It is the adrenaline crash that comes after a fight. They believe the sector is clear, but 3 miles out, the kill team is closing the distance using a massive design advantage: hydrodynamic stealth. The Magura V5 sits just 1.6 feet above the waterline. In the choppy, nocturnal waters of the Black Sea, that low profile makes them virtually invisible. The Russian search radars are programmed to filter out sea clutter, waves, and foam to avoid ghost contacts. Tonight, that algorithm is their death sentence. The Magura drones are hiding inside the very noise the Russian computers are designed to ignore. In the Ukrainian bunker, the operator executes the final phase of the trap. He doesn't send the drones in a straight line. He splits the formation, utilizing the wolfpack tactics of World War II submarines. He guides the drones to approach from three distinct vectors simultaneously. Yes. One targets the stern, one flanks the port side, and one circles wide to the starboard. It is a tactical checkmate. By predicting that the Russians would slow down and relax, Ukraine has maneuvered its assets into a perfect kill box. The helicopter is powered down on the deck. The gunners are off the triggers.
Couldn't have done it without
the ship
your
is no
command,
longer
sir.
a predator. It is a sitting duck floating in the center of an invisible noose. The operator is about to pull it tight. 1:25 a.m.
We actually pulled it off.
The smoke from the destroyed decoys hangs low over the water, creating a thick artificial
Glad it's
fog
over.
bank. The Russian captain, sensing the silence is too perfect, orders the electronic warfare suite to remain at maximum power. The Sergey Kotov's jammers blast the electromagnetic spectrum with noise. In theory, this creates an invisible shield that no remote-controlled weapon can penetrate. But Ukraine has anticipated this move. As the Starlink signal flickers and dies under the weight of the jamming, the wolfpack doesn't stop. The Magura drones automatically switch to their dead reckoning protocol. Using onboard gyroscopes and the last known GPS coordinates, they lock on to the target's physical location. They are no longer flying by wire. They are flying by math. The jamming is now just background noise to a machine that already knows where its meal is. On the stern deck, the Ka-29 helicopter pilot is climbing out of his cockpit. He walks to the railing to flick a cigarette butt into the sea and looks down. His blood runs cold. Emerging from the darkness just 500 feet away, 5 distinct wakes are cutting through the water. The drones are no longer creeping. They have punched their throttles to maximum. The roar of their jet ski engines finally reaches the deck. It is a buzzing mechanical scream that cuts through the sound of the wind. The pilot's scream tears through the calm. The alarm klaxon begins to wail, but the physics of the situation are hopeless. The helicopter is strapped down and useless. The main 76mm gun is facing the wrong way, and its turret rotation is too slow to catch the speedboats. Heavy machine gunners frantically try to bring their weapons to bear, but the Maguras are closing at 42 knots, zigzagging aggressively to throw off their aim. It is a scene of absolute chaos. Sailors are running across the deck, slipping on the wet steel, and shouting conflicting orders. The captain screams for full power to the engines, but a 1,700-ton ship moving at 12 knots doesn't just sprint, it groans. The Sergey Kotov is a heavy, sluggish beast, trying to outrun a pack of wolves biting at its heels. The trap has been sprung with perfect timing. The Russian crew is caught in the worst possible posture, relaxed, disarmed, and looking the wrong way. The Ghost Fleet has arrived, and it brought enough C4 to level a city block, 1:27 a.m. The timeline has compressed from minutes to seconds. Through the feed of the lead drone, the operator can see the whites of their eyes. The scene on the deck of the Sergey Kotov is a masterpiece of panic. The arrogance from 20 minutes ago has vanished, replaced by primal terror. Sailors are abandoning their battle stations and jumping into the freezing black water. They know that a few millimeters of steel hull cannot stop nearly a ton of high explosives. The Russian captain is screaming into the PA system, ordering a hard turn. But a 1,700-ton ship doesn't turn on a dime. It drifts like a sliding brick. The heavy machine gunners are firing wildly now, their barrels glowing red hot. But the Magura is too low, too fast, and too small. It weaves through the tracer fire with robotic precision. 45 seconds, the operator whispers. He isn't just steering a drone, he is guiding a verdict. The swarm splits for the final terminal run. 2 drones peel off to the sides to box the ship in. The heavy hitter lines up directly on the stern. The target isn't just the hull, it is the propeller shafts and the ammunition magazine. 10 seconds. The roar of the drone engines drowns out the screams of the crew. The fueled and armed Ka-29 helicopter looms large in the camera frame. 5 seconds. The operator watches a Russian sailor freeze at the railing, staring directly into the camera lens. The connection is intimate, terrifying, and final. In the silence of the bunker, the operator smiles and whispers, "Sweet dreams, comrades." The silence of the Black Sea is shattered by 3 distinct, earth-shaking concussions. The first Magura V5 slams directly into the stern of the Sergey Kotov. The explosion instantly shreds the ship's propellers and rudder, twisting the steel shafts like wet pretzels. The patrol ship shudders violently, snapping the keel's spine. Before the crew can scramble to their feet, the second and third drones strike the sides. These are surgical strikes, aimed at the engine room and the ammunition magazines. The result is a chain reaction that turns the $65 million vessel into a floating volcano. A shockwave rips upward through the decks. The fully fueled Ka-29 helicopter on the stern ruptures and ignites instantly. The night sky is lit up with a blinding orange glow as the helicopter's munitions cook off. For the next 40 minutes, a desperate drama plays out on the listing deck. Russian damage control teams attempt to save their dying ship, but it is a fight against gravity, and gravity always wins. "Get the pumps running," the captain screams, but there is no power. The drone strikes flooded the main generator room instantly. The ship is dark, dead in the water, and listing 20 degrees. Handheld fire extinguishers are useless against an inferno fueled by aviation kerosene. Desperate mayday calls go out to the rest of the Black Sea fleet, but help is too far away, and other Russian vessels hesitate to approach. They are terrified that more drones are lurking in the shadows. As the list increases to 40 degrees, the order finally comes. Abandon ship. Sailors jump into the water, watching as their state-of-the-art home slides into the abyss. As the Sergey Kotov vanishes beneath the waves, it joins a prestigious and humiliating underwater club. This isn't just a sunk boat. It is the latest chapter in the dismantling of the Russian Navy. It joins the flagship cruiser Moskva and the Caesar Kuninkov at the bottom of the Black Sea. Consider the geopolitics here. Russia built these ships to blockade Ukraine and to project power. Instead, a nation with virtually no conventional navy has forced the mighty Black Sea fleet to run and hide. They have abandoned Sevastopol, retreating hundreds of miles east to Novorossiysk. They are terrified of plastic boats controlled by Starlink. With the Kotov gone, the western Black Sea becomes a no-go zone for Russia. The grain corridor is now wider and safer. Every time a ship like this sinks, insurance rates skyrocket, and Russian morale hits rock bottom.
Looks like a fishing vessel.
Let's run the numbers one last time. The cost to Russia? $65 million for the ship, $10 million for the helicopter, plus the loss of a specialized crew. The cost to Ukraine? Roughly $1 million for a handful of Magura V5 drones. That is an asymmetric trade-off that no military budget can sustain. Ukraine just traded a few jet skis for a Corvette. The sun rises over an empty patch of oil-slicked water. The lesson for the Kremlin is brutal. You can build the biggest ships and mount the biggest guns, but if you get complacent for even 1 second, you become nothing more than an expensive artificial reef. Ukraine waited, they watched, and when the moment was right, they turned a celebration into a funeral. Now I want to hear from you. If you were the commander of Group 13, what is the next target on your list? Is it the Kerch Bridge, or a delivery for Putin's Black Sea Palace? Drop your coordinates in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching a $65 million warship get deleted by a jet ski, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. You definitely don't want to be asleep when our next video drops. Share this video to help us beat the algorithm, just like Ukraine beats the Black Sea Fleet.